To the tent at this hot hour of the day. I had originally suggested we do some kind of talk or panel with involving everyone and sharing experiences, but it's kind of difficult on a stage like this. So I'm just going to present my slides, which I had prepared anyway, and I'll invite you all to our village afterwards for a discussion, whoever wants to talk about details of certain repairs or exchanging any ideas for repair cafes and stuff like that. Also, during the talk, if you've got any questions, please interrupt me at the spot and ask, and I'll try to clarify it. So, welcome to Repair for Future. I'm Andreas, or Fraxinas, or Repair Fox. I'm an electrical engineer from Germany. I'm developing software in my day job, and I founded a repair cafe in the hometown Aschaffenburg of mine. I'm a member of a makerspace, Schaffenburg e.V. There's also a company called Schaffenburg in the Netherlands, and they make office furniture, but we're not affiliated. Also, we're not sponsored, sadly. I'm giving tips in a live TV show in Germany's ARD every once in a while. And I founded another repair cafe in my home village just a few months ago. So somebody once said, in a way, everybody is a hacker. Everyone has their tricks to deal with technology in everyday life. And that person was Holland. It's German.
Irgendwo ist jeder Hacker. Jeder hat so seine Tricks im Alltag, mit der Technik umzugehen. Es gibt 1000 Kleinigkeiten im Alltag, wo es wichtig ist, mit Technik möglichst effektiv und ohne Angst und einfach sicher umzugehen.
Yeah, so what he basically says, it is hacking to deal with technology and problems in your everyday life. So everybody has heard the word life hack. That's pretty much the gist of it, I think. And that's why I do these talks at hacker conferences and camps like this, because I think there's just such a closeness in mindsets that we should really work together like this. Let's see, there's another slide. And of course, I brought some motivation. This is a photo from today. My friend woke up this morning laying on the ground because his airbag was leaking and all the air leaked out, so we had to fix it. Of course, I had patches and PVC glue, and we could repair it. Yesterday, our crepe maker in the village broke. The switch broke. It is a spare part that would cost like €2 or 50 cents, but the regular consumer would have to throw the thing away. It's out of warranty. It has special screws that you can't open without a special tool set. What should you do? Usually it would be throwing it away. We just shorted the switch and we can use it again. So, who hasn't heard what a repair cafe is? Okay, I will explain. So a repair cafe is a kind of meeting where volunteers like me go and help people seeking help, trying to repair something and can do it themselves, and show them to help themselves. So it is a kind of repairing together socially, and it is, of course, meant for helping people who may be unable to afford replacing something. And of course, it's also there to stop people from just throwing it away if it's easy to repair and replacing it with a new bought item. To save resources and keep it out of landfill. And just some 40, 50 kilometers west from here in Amsterdam was the first organized repair cafe in 2009, where she pretty much formalized this as an event. So people have always helped each other in neighborhoods and helped each other repair stuff. But the way our society works today is that people aren't so close with their neighborhoods anymore and stuff like that. So it wasn't easy finding somebody who's not a professional to repair things. And even for professional repairs, it's hard. Usually people get told, no, we can't fix that toaster. That doesn't make any sense. The time it takes us to open it is more than a new toaster would cost. So what we do at a repair cafe is a lot of times is tending to those products that aren't really worth much anymore anyway, and people would just throw them out without really thinking much about it. Of course, sometimes it's a flat TV that is just out of warranty and maybe costs 1,000 euros, and it's just a tiny little diode for 50 cents that blew. We've seen that before too. Yeah, so anyway, it was Martin Postma from Amsterdam who formalized this and founded the Stichting Repair Café in 2010, and they have this starter set, which works kind of like a franchise with a squiggly logo, which has changed by now. It's not quite as squiggly anymore, not much prettier either, though. And it's very successful. So there are hundreds of repair cafes around the world, if not thousands, hundreds in Germany alone. And big cities have multiple ones. Some work all days of the week. It's become a real movement. So there are other, how should I call it? It's not really organizations, more like a, collective organizations. So in Germany has the Netzwerk Reparaturinitiativen, actually all German-speaking countries, Austria, Switzerland too, and there are 950 members listed, out of which they probably aren't all active anymore. Maybe some of them were a one-time thing or so, but it's a couple of hundred, and it's really amazing. And the United Kingdom has the Restart project, which is London-based, and they are really professionalizing. They even have fix factories now, what they call it, where people can go with their devices, and they really have professionals that do this as a full-time job, like you would expect or would have expected back in the good days from your TV salesperson in next door. And of course, internationally and strongly in the United States, there is iFixit, founded by Kyle Wiens. And they have a big online community with many repair manuals. And they're also strongly lobbying for the right to repair movement in the United States. And of course, there's also iFixit in the European Union, based in Germany. So how does a typical day at a repair event look like? This is our logo from Aschaffenburg. We tried incorporating all the different things that we do, like sewing and electronics, woodwork, bicycles, mechanical stuff, whatnot, into that. And the motto is we can fix it together, pretty much. So we have these little slips of paper that people write their names in and what they brought. So a toaster and what the defect is. It doesn't heat anymore, or it doesn't stay down. We try to ask them at the entrance what the exact problem is, because otherwise people will just write doesn't work. And it helps the repair people if they have a slight idea of what's going on. And of course, on the other side, there's the house rules, which boil down to say if it breaks for good while trying to fix it, then yeah, it's bad luck. Things like that. And then our repair helpers take the slips of paper off of the blackboard and then ask the people to come to their desk, and then they start fixing it together. The repair helpers bring their own toolboxes, the stuff that they're used to, what they can work with well, like their own multimeters and whatever, screwdrivers or not, soldering irons, sewing machines, glue, stuff like that. And then usually there's food, like the name Repair Cafe already implies. Of course, by the way, they aren't all called Repair Cafe. That is just, yeah, the Stichting Repair Cafe expects them to be named Repair Cafe, but you could just as well call it Repair Initiative or Café Kaputt or something like that. There are so many creative names for them. Yeah, and we started with coffee and cake as well, and sometimes we also cook. It depends on where we do our event. We always change locations after each event, and sometimes the people there prepare, like in this case, it is some Turkish food. Yeah, we've got usually got some bicycle repairs going on, and yeah, fixing clothes or dolls or toys, all different things. So people bring the funniest stuff. Last time somebody brought a pool cleaning robot, something that crawls over a floor of a pool. Yeah, and then yeah, we all have set up our little tables with like here Billy is fixing some blender or I don't know what, and there's somebody fixing something else, and yeah, people sit together with the repair helper and they watch, and they if they can, they'll hold something or unscrew it themselves. And sometimes people will even do it all by themselves. That they just need a little hint every once in a while. This is the city major at the first event. And that is me 8 years ago or something, fixing the kitchen machine of his wife. Okay, and yeah, sometimes like CD players or hi-fi devices, especially like tube devices, are really time-consuming to repair and have to be a lot of measurements done, and we need a lot of spare parts, and then that goes out of scope and time range of what we can do in a repair cafe. And then sometimes people like take them home privately and continue it there unofficially. Yeah, so maybe you remember, luckily it's all over now, but there was a pandemic and it kind of hit the repair cafes as well. There was a lockdown in Germany, I think here in the Netherlands as well at some point, and we couldn't do anything anymore. We were very unprepared for it, and so many appointments were just canceled. But for example, Repair Café Aschaffenburg started already a month or something into the pandemic, into experimenting with remote services. So we would offer a Jitsi instance where people could log in during the time that was scheduled for a repair cafe. We always do that once a month at a Saturday, and we had leaflets printed, so the appointments were already known, and instead of just canceling them altogether, instead we did it online on our Jitsi instance. I'll show a little bit in the next slide how that could work. And then after the lockdown, we did the events offline with additional hygiene measures like disinfection and social distancing and a limited amount of guests that had to pre-book. This is just a list of different repair cafes doing online events just like we did. And something that is noteworthy, especially at these kind of conferences, is that most of them used open solutions for the video conferencing. Like a lot of them used Big Blue Button or Jitsi, and just a few of them use proprietary stuff like Zoom or Microsoft Teams. Some of them were even provided by makerspaces. Yeah, so how can online repairing work? This was during our first online repair session, and there's a guest, and she was trying to fix a video projector, and we helped her disassemble the case, which is always very hard, even if you have it on your table in front of you. But if you have to remotely tell a layman or a lay person how to open something like that up, then it's really difficult. You can see it's an electronic device, so it has mains voltage in it. Of course, we unplugged it all, and it was basically just diagnostics. But we could tell that this one power regulator had blown, and she was even able, like you can see here is a part of it. Yeah. After like trying to get it open for an hour and a half or something, she saw that this part had blown, and we were able to order the spare part, and then during a later time when she came into the repair cafe, we could solder it and switch it and repair it that way. This would have been usually something where a person would have to come to the repair cafe twice, because of course we can't have all special parts on stock. Yeah, with a video resolution, especially with WebRTC, the inscriptions on the parts are of course not readable. So some of the repair initiatives, they started using out-of-band high-res photography for those kind of diagnostics instead. But what is cool is that you can open a repair manual and then show her where the clips are and things like that. Or if a person has computer problems, you can help them like with a team viewer or something. Yeah, then after these experiments of the separate initiatives, there was a bundled approach by the network Reparaturinitiativen for basically all of Germany, where helpers from the different initiatives could log in and then help guests. And that was a week in February 2021, where we did that for every evening, and afterwards we did it once per month. And in the beginning we had quite some guests. Like in March there were 40 guests and over 20 helpers and 10 repairs altogether. Some people just wanted to check in and see how it could work, but that steadily went down the hill. So in the end there were only repairers but no guests trying to get anything fixed. So we turned it into more something like a monthly meetup of the repair community. Because this network repair initiatives also did like meetups in the different regions of Germany, and like a federal for the whole country once a year, and that couldn't take place either, which was very sad because repairers really need to repair. Like, I know it from myself. If we can't repair something, then we get, yeah. So we were always waiting for guests that we could have. Good. So why do we even have to do this? The problem is that in Europe alone, this is a number from 2 years ago, I think, or last year. When was that with that giant ship being stuck in that canal? It was last year? Yeah. So imagine 60 of those giant things filled all the way with waste, with electric waste is what Europe alone produces every year. It's unimaginable. It's 20 kilos per person per year. And we want to basically be an impulse and give people, a way of changing their thinking and the way they consume, especially electronics, but also clothes and textiles. And we're trying to kind of kick off a political process too. So there is already the European Eco-Design Directive, which, for example, has brought us LEDs as light bulb replacements, or vacuum cleaners that have a limited wattage, stuff like that. So some of those things are very, very good. And there's also, since last year, an amendment to the Eco-Design Directive that is supposed to improve a right to repair. So in the first step, this applied to just a few products or product ranges, like coolers, washing machines, dishwashers, and displays, so televisions mainly. And it requires them to be repairable without special tools, or at least the cases should be openable without special tools, and that spare parts need to be supplied for a few years. So I think it's 7 years for the displays and 10 years for the appliances. And repairing and service manuals need to be supplied. So this is already in effect as of last year. Yes? The spare parts. How does it work out? The question was, spare parts, how does it work out in practice? So in practice, the rule is they need to be supplied within or provided within 15 days for professional repairers. And there is no rule for the price of them either. Unluckily. And also, there is no rule that keeps manufacturers from bundling spare parts into giant modules. Like the rule doesn't tell them only to supply or provide the bearing of a washing machine drum. It can be the whole drum, including a bearing that can't be changed. So this is not perfect yet. Is this what your question was about? Yeah, thank you. Very good question. So what's going on this year in 2022 is that our European Parliament has voted for a right to repair on April 7th. And that means that the European Commission has to or should come up with an amendment to the directive in this fall, 2022. And so the idea is that there should be incentive for repairs that could be, for example, tax reductions or some kind of vouchers. Like Austria already has this in place. When you go there and you get your washing machine fixed and it costs 200 for labor and spare parts, 200 euro, then the Austrian government will pay 50% of that back. So you only have to pay 100. This is really cool. The German state of Thuringia has that too now, but only a limited budget, I think. Yeah, and of course the service manuals and software updates have to be provided for a certain period for a broader range of products. Yeah, and the rest is it's not very concrete, but devices should be more robust, easier to repair, and wear parts should be easy to replace. It's always a question of definition, but it's a start. So another good thing is that consumer information about repairability should be improved and warranties extended. Best thing would be, in my mind, you buy a washing machine that is projected for a 10-year lifetime, and then you have a warranty for 10 years. That would be the best thing. Then people can choose, do I want the 300 euro machine that has a 2-year lifetime, or do I want the 1,000 euro machine that has a 10-year lifetime? If you do the math, then it's easy which one is the better choice. Huh? Okay. Another thing is that is technically already illegal, but it would be really illegal then. These are practices leading to worse or worsen repairabilities that planned obsolescence should be banned. Yeah? So if I put a little fuse in that breaks after 2 years or after the warranty is over, then it would definitely be illegal. Yeah. It hasn't exactly been proven before a court. I think that some manufacturers put these kinds of things into devices, but we all know that they exist. Like, just think about printers which stop working after the little excess ink sponge is full when they think it's full. Yeah. And another thing that should come is the digital product pass with QR codes that contains extra information about like energy consumption and repairability, things like that. I need a sip of water. So, France already has a repairability index since last year for a couple of products. This number shows pretty much how difficult a product is to repair. The bad thing is that the manufacturers calculate the score by themselves, and there are a few categories like the manuals and stuff like that can increase the score even though they aren't really easy to repair. For example, iFixit has the 36 easy steps that you have to do to switch a battery on a Galaxy S21, and it still scores 8.2, which is absolutely ridiculous. In the United States, it is illegal that companies, or it's not illegal to put them on, but they are null and void. You all know these warranty void stickers on devices. Since 1975, courts have ruled that, they don't mean anything technically. And also, it's very interesting that the American Rights to Repair movement got traction because of a very conservative group of products. It's tractors by John Deere. Yeah, they put DRM and stuff into their machines that would keep farmers from repairing their equipment on field. Imagine the tractor breaks. They have to bring in the crops, and you can't put it in the shop. They have to fix it on spot. That wasn't possible anymore, and that was a real uproar and attraction to the right to repair movement. Last year, President Biden signed an executive order empowering right to repair, and there have been a couple of state legislations this year. This is the last one being the Fair Repair Act of New York in June. Germany has the round table for repairs, which does lobbying, and I'm a member of that too. And we managed to even get right to repair into the coalition contract of the governing parties of this legislation period in Germany. And like I've already mentioned, Thuringia and Austria subsidize repairs. And just last week, India has announced that they also want to introduce a right to repair law. So what can we do? Please repair stuff for yourself. YouTube has very good, sometimes not so good videos of how to repair, how to open things that happen again and again, like what do I have to do if I need to switch the thermal paste of my notebook Dell XYZ or something like that. Check that out. iFixit has very many repair manuals, very specific step by step with high-res photography. What do I have to do if I want to replace the display of my this and that phone? If you don't have the tools at home, or if you aren't capable of doing it yourself, come visit a repair cafe. They'll show you how it works, if it's possible. Or if you're already adept at repairing stuff, please volunteer as a helper in a repair cafe. Or when you're a member of a makerspace, why don't you offer some consultation hours in your makerspace where people can come with their devices, or volunteer at a repair event. Yeah, and last but not least, if you live in a rural area that doesn't have any repair cafe yet, you can always open one. There's the Stichting Repair Cafe for the Netherlands. They are also active all over Europe, and they have their starter set. It is worth it. A British study, so British studies show everything. Imagine what they have a study on it. But this one shows that repairing actually has an impact on CO2 reduction, and it's about 1 to 10 kilo per kilo of device repaired. What we personally can do as well is think twice before buying stuff, especially gadgets, especially IoT crap, which may just as well stop working next year when the manufacturer decides to turn off the cloud, things like that. Do we really need it? Cherish and service and maintenance, loop your bicycle chain and stuff like that, decalcify your coffee machine, clean your vacuum cleaner filters. That will extend their lifetime. It's important. And use warranty to the end. If something is broken within the warranty time, even if it's just a stupid LED light bulb, then get it replaced. Yeah, it's something that, sometimes they even have an extended warranty of like 5 years or something. But it's a tedious process. People or the manufacturers try to keep them from using that. And of course, another good thing is teach kids how to solder and do making classes. Soldering is a very important repair technique. It is good if they know how to do it. Upcycling. If a TV mainboard is broken, you can still use the backlight for a really cool shadow-free desk light, for example. There are a bunch of initiatives. There is a FixFest, which is an international repair conference in Brussels in September, or end of September, beginning of October, that first weekend. And there's also Bits and Bäume conference in Berlin. Unluckily, they're both at the same weekend. My dream, first one I already said, if a product's supposed to last 10 years, please put a sticker on and then actually extend the warranty to that time. And what we need is really a Europe-wide return system for functional or easily repairable goods. Belgium has that with the Kringwinkel. You don't throw stuff away that you don't need anymore. You give it to a central instance, and then it's being given out again for a really low price, repaired by some welfare jobs. And we have that in Germany now for people who have fled Ukraine, and they're taking old laptops and computers and giving them away again to the refugees after installing a free open source operating system on them. Yeah, then of course some incentives for repairs would be nice, as I've mentioned. And also, please always keep in mind, regard the ecological impact of every purchase and social impact. Some people have to assemble these things, and those people don't live good lives. Some people have to dig out tons of stuff from the earth to make enough cobalt for a phone or for a car or whatnot. Please always consider that. And not only the production, also the disposal is bad for our planet. Yeah. Eventually, we'll become a degrowth society if we want it or not. It would be better if we did it voluntarily and be prepared for it. Discussion, we barely have any time for it. Maybe there are some questions. If not, you're invited to Unterland Village on Olsen Field at 6:30, I would say, in half an hour or so.
That would be great.
Yeah, 23rd person to show up gets a free smartphone repair kit from me.
Hey, did you hear that, you guys? You're lucky the one. First of all, before we start, thank you. This was excellent. May I have a big applause for this? Cheers. Thanks. I know that there's still 10 minutes for questions. I pushed him a bit. Sorry about that.
Sorry, I hope I didn't rush through too fast.
So, but there were some interesting questions, and maybe let's get to the microphone, because I think we have a few more.
Yeah, thanks for the very interesting discussion and talk. I think what I wanted to say is regarding warranties. I think a lot of people aren't aware that the European law states that you have 2 years at least, but it's at least. So if it's a washing machine, the law is a bit vague, unfortunately, but I think it states something as much warranty as you should be.
As the lifespan should be.
Yeah, as you could meaningfully expect the product to last, which is vague, which really helps the manufacturers to get out of warranty claims.
Yeah, if we really had a compulsory label where the manufacturer has to write the projected lifetime of a product on the packing, then people would be able to choose and really claim that right.
Yes.
Yeah, that warranty. Yeah.
But that's not in the proposals yet.
It is.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It is in the proposal that the lifetime has to be written on and the warranty has to be according. That is not like that. Yeah. Unluckily.
Okay, good.
But we're trying to push it that way.
Keep pushing. That'd be great.
And the second question, if
I don't see anyone queuing up yet, so go ahead.
I attended a few repair cafes around Holland, and I noticed the atmosphere was sometimes quite of the participants, I mean, more kind of like they brought their product, dumped it, and sometimes even went out. They weren't really invested or really paying attention.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips maybe for how to get the right kind of engagement, let's say?
So we've seen that too, that people were like misunderstanding the concept of a repair cafe as like a professional repair shop,
A free
or
repair,
professionally even free repair shop. And we always made clear that we're here on our free time, and then we want people to understand and to help, and at least watch if they don't have to manually help. But I think it's probably about communication, like writing an article about what you do in your local newspaper with photos and stuff like that. That always helps. And we rarely get that.
Really?
So
Okay.
maybe once or twice a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
better.
Good to hear.
Thank you. There's a few people lining
Thanks.
up, so let's bring it
Hold
on.
Hey, I often find myself in discussions with like companies that I buy products from, and they claim to be very, lifetime products, and then something breaks, and then they're like, okay, we'll send you like a new one, and I'm like, no, I don't want a new one. I want you to repair. And a lot of times I also sort of offer them clues for like how they could like send repair kits to all of the people who have this broken. And I don't know, these are companies like, for example, Rains, the rain jacket from Denmark, or Gregory from like backpacks, or Stanley. And it's always like I never get to like a good solution. I just kind of want to create awareness for them to repair the stuff instead. So I guess none of the laws apply here, but do you have maybe any tips of like how to communicate? I think it's also mostly I communicate with a person who's not actually able to, and I don't get to anyone who can influence that.
Yeah. So yeah, that law is not in place yet, but it's also supposed to be forbidden to throw away like new stock or just slightly defective and repairable stuff. But the problem is that that products aren't designed to be repairable anymore. Like a lot of times you can't even open a case of a product without destroying it. Or shoes or backpacks, like you mentioned, they are all glued together. They can't be sewn or anything. And if they fail, then sometimes they do fail for good, and then they need to be replaced because even the manufacturer can't fix it.
But in these cases, I actually fix it myself. I mean, the
Yeah.
thing with the range, but I
Yeah.
I want them to do it, and I want them to also do it for other people. I mean, they were totally fixable, actually.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
maybe they could have been designed better, but. Yeah.
But they may not even have the facilities anymore. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And indeed, I think I see the problem that you wanted to repair it, and yeah.
You get
And
a
it's-
new
it's
one,
just
most
being
people are
replaced.
happy about it. Yeah, but
Yes, but that
it's not the
makes
right
sense
thing.
in your
Yeah,
no.
it doesn't make sense.
Hi there. Thank you very much. I was vaguely familiar with some of these movements, initiatives in Europe. Very pleased to learn more about it. Fascinating, excellent stuff. Now, from what I've seen, it seems to me like the place that would be the most, I don't know if I can say advanced, but that has the strongest culture of repair like that. And unfortunately, not necessarily out of such noble motivations, but more out of necessity, is Cuba. It seems to me like Cuba is the fix-it country.
Yeah.
Was wondering if there's been any formal or informal, some kind of exchange with Cuban repairers, or if, yeah. Thank you.
Not that I'm aware of. That's an excellent question. And
It is.
let me bring this up. If you look on a map for repair initiatives, then imagine the Iron Curtain. They almost stop there. So east of Germany, Poland is also already very sparse. People there don't need repair cafes.
Because they can still do it.
They can still do it themselves, and they do. Like I was in Romania a couple of years ago in a very remote town of Sulina. Their next hardware shop was 2 hours by ship. There aren't even any roads there. People need to be able to fix their stuff on their own and improvise, and they do.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. They don't need repair cafes, and Cuba is probably the same way. Thank you for this suggestion.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And our last question for today.
Hi, I don't really have a question. I just have a suggestion. I know in Switzerland, there's a big initiative now trying to copy the repair vouchers. They're very inspired, and I've been pushing the local councillors to activate that. So they're working actively on it, and also they're trying to attach a reuse center to their recycling centers. So if you can all contact your local councillors and push for that and say you want a reuse center for all your equipment, because if you're also running a repair cafe, I'm sure you know this too, Andreas, trying to get the spare parts, often you can take it out of another machine that has a different part broken. Yeah. So that would also be nice to just collect all these things as spare parts.
Absolutely. Excellent suggestion. Thank you very much. Please do that. Okay.
So that's it for tonight. I would like you to thank you once more for this beautiful story again. I love it in this that we're doing high tech and low tech at the same time, and it doesn't really matter. We just do hacks.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Thank you. People, good hand.